Hey guys, Loman02, currently drafting the Vintage Cube. Unfortunately, Moto is taking its sweet time to bring up my cards. What do I think here? Well, Through the Breach is very powerful. Necropotence, while powerful card, is not that great in this cube. Grim Tutor is a very expensive tutor. Elsbeth is a good aggressive planeswalker. Kolaghan's Command's 2 colors. I don't know if I want to commit to that. Nicol Bolas, yeah, I'm not going to do that. I wonder if mono white's actually good in this cube. Like, it used to be actually, I think, decent. Glen Alondra is also a very powerful card. Thrun is a great sideboard card. Mutavolt's fine. So what's the actual pick in this pack? I think if I were to take this competitively, I'd probably take Glen Alondra, but I'm going to try Elsbeth, and I think... And the other reason I'm doing it is because I think blue is going to be overdrafted in the cube, and I think if there's a good Death and Taxes deck in this cube, I should be okay, as long as I don't run into like a green deck. Wheel of Fortune is probably the most powerful card in this pack. Well, Hymn's also quite good. Karn is also a massive beating, but I think here I'm going to take Student of Warfare, honestly. Unexpectedly Absent actually may be the pickup, because Student has a higher likelihood of wheeling than Unexpectedly Absent, but I'm going to take the Student. It is a double white card at a minimum. Alright, Swords of Plowshares, good pickup. The Preordain, good in this cube because of the high power level. Exhume, fine for Reanimator, but I don't think Reanimator's that good in powered cube. I think there's better combos. Alright, Gideon is quite good. So is Smuggler's Copter, though. I think I'm going to take the Gideon. I probably won't get the Smuggler's Copter back. Take a 1-drop, yeah. What else is good in this pack? I mean, Storm, Cabal Ritual, Tinker for Sphinx, Reanimate, Sheldred. Moldrift is a great value blue card. Lightning Strike's not bad. I mean, it's fine, just early interaction, or it can just win games. Red deck wins his deck. Siege Gang's a little bit much. Probably more of a blue-red card than it is a red card in the cube. I do want to flesh out my curve, obviously, but it appears White Weenie's probably open. The thing we need to do, though, and we may go with like white-black or white-green, although we did pass Savannah, because I don't know how good the taxing effects are in this, and like you do want some taxing effects. I don't know how broken this cube is either. I mean, I know Channel's in it. We saw Wheel. Potence really... Well, broken card is not broken in this cube. At least it has not been in a while. I don't know if it ever has been broken in the cube. Maybe a long time ago when cards were worse. I don't know. The aggro decks are just too fast nowadays to try to be necropotencing unless you can, storm off like immediately. That's why like Bargain's probably a better card in cube, even though it's a ton more mana. Storm may be open though. We've seen a few decent Storm cards. I think Storm tends to be a pipe dream in this cube, though. I mean, maybe at some point. This is my first time cubing this cube, so I haven't looked at the changes. Maybe it's actually just a good deck. I have drafted it before. I've actually gone 3-0 with Storm before, but I don't tend to think it's... There's like a high probability of someone else trying to do that nonsense at your table, and if they are, then you're both going to have garbage decks. All right, that's what I meant. Like, Black-White like gets like Sin Collector if it's still in the cube, Tide Hollow Scholar. It also gets Inquisition, Thoughtseize. But I think here I'm just going to take the Silver Blade. I think it's better to stay in one color than it is to jump into a second here. Maze of Ith also not a horrible card. I mean, it's a good sideboard card for this deck against like the green decks. Because you can attack in, turn your creature around, because you don't normally care about how much damage you're taking. Alright, this is an interesting one. Like, Battered Skull is interesting from the standpoint that, like, yeah, I never want to hardcast it, but if I do get a Stoneforge Mystic, it becomes a lot better. Enlightened Tutor is also quite powerful, but I don't really have anything good to get with it yet. Even though there are some good White Hoser enchantments, but I don't know how many hate cards they put inside the cube. Mother of Runes is an easy pickup here, though. I think for cube. Most powerful card in that pack? No. That goes to Mishra's Workshop, but again, like, its power level is redolent upon, like, you're more of a constructed deck. Well, cube is a constructed limited format, quote unquote. I don't think you're going to tend to get enough artifacts. The artifacts are highly picked, is the thing, because they're colorless. They're good first picks. If you get good mana ramp, that's not bad. We didn't really see any of that in our first pack. That's why I ended up taking the Elsbeth. I think, like I said, Glenn I think was probably a better pick, but Benalis Marshall over Honor the Peer. I mean, if there's a card that wheels in this pack, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'm not going to get a card of that pack. Honor the Peer I'd play. But Benalis Marshall is actually an Honor the Peer that actually also attacks. And it's not just white creatures as well, which is nice. Actually, I'm not sure if under the pure it may just be +1/+1 to your creatures. But I think Benevolent Marshal is better. I'd rather have creatures in the 2-drop slot. And the Anthem effects I don't tend to think are exceedingly great in Cube. I think you'd rather just have a threat. But I tend to think that in general. Unless you have like token generators. Alright, the Sky Marcher Aspirant came around. I wonder if Mutavault's a better pickup here. Yeah, I probably take the Sky Marcher here. She can fly. And she's just a Savannah Lions. Mutavault's a better card, but I think having Benevolent Marshal in my deck, I think seals it because the double white... And, like, I haven't gotten 2-drops yet in white, but the 2-drops that I expect to get, a lot of them are going to be double white requirements. And, well, I think Mutavault would be a card I'd put in this deck. If I have to take it over a decent 1-drop or itself, I'm probably going to take the 1-drop because I think it will lead to mana issues on certain draws. That could be wrong, though. All right, and as expected, Unexpectedly Absent came back around. I think we do take it over the Sword of War and Peace, because this deck is going to have a tough time dealing with certain permanents. Sword of War and Peace is just a beating, but it's really a 5-drop, so it's kind of slow. Well, it's good in, like, against the red decks. I think Unexpectedly Absent will help us against the decks that we're not good at, or good at beating, like big green decks. You just, like, if you use Unexpectedly Absent, like Memory Lapse, it's actually not bad. Now, it's not as good as Memory Lapse for doing that effect, just putting it right back on top, because if it's an ETB creature or something like that, then yeah, you can certainly lose to it. Alright, here, alright, I suppose I'm just going to take Song of the Dryads. Alright, Chrome Mox is fine. I'll actually even put that in for now. I'd rather have Mox Diamond in this deck. I think it's a better card for this deck. Because typically you don't want to ditch your gas. But Chrome Mox is fine. It's a card that could be played in this deck. Alright, we will take a Razorverge Thicket. That makes our Song of Dryads option a little better. It also means, I think Char's not a... Well, Char's probably a better card. They're both pretty powerful. And sadly enough, the most powerful card in the pack, objectively, is the last pick. But that makes sense. It's the same thing with Bazaar. It's just, it doesn't really do enough. This pack's horrible for us. I mean, it's not a horrible pack. I just take Nykthos. Leyline of Sanctity is interesting. I guess we just pick up the Leyline because if we do play against Storm, we can just drop this thing and be like, if we get it turn 0, you're just like, alright, man, go ahead. Like against Storm deck, it's pretty sweet. But I think this deck will be pretty good against Storm anyways, so like I don't even know if you sideboard it in. Kind of sad to pick that up first, though. The Inferno Titan was pretty sweet. Linvala, not really my thing. I don't want a Day of Judgment. It's probably just Linvala here, although I'm not excited about playing her. She is good against the green decks, I suppose, because it stops all the mana dorks. Stops Grim Lavamancer. I guess it stops Fauna Shaman. Brontodon, but I'm not really afraid of Brontodon. Linvala's kind of meh. But she does fly. Alright, here, I think it's a pretty, the best card in this pack is Fast Bond. Followed up by, Deathright's also very high up there, but Deathright's not good in Cube unless you have just tons of fetch lands. Venser's quite good. Mana Flare is a Storm card, or just a huge mana card. But yeah, we'll pick up the Knight. It's our first 2-drop, oddly enough. I guess we do have the Unexpectedly Absent that could operate as a 2-drop. Leyline of Sanctity is an odd one to have in the Cube. If you have a hosing card, you just... Okay, Armageddon. Or Winter Ore. Winter Ore is also quite powerful, but I don't have a lot of artifact mana yet. Yeah, Armageddon is just one of those cards. I want Leona Relic Warder to come around, and it probably will. And actually, Walking Ballista wasn't a bad card. If we could have had some of those spread out in our first 2 packs, that would have been nice. Walking Ballista is decent in this deck, especially better if I can get the Linvala out of there and get... I can't think of the guy's name. Ranger... Well, the name evades me, but he's a 4-drop 3/2 that gets you two 1-drops or less, which can get you Walking Ballista, which is pretty good value. What do I think of the deck so far? Well, it doesn't have enough taxing effects. It does have some good aggressive creatures, but it needs some more tax. It does have Geddon. I wouldn't mind picking up a land tax, having a Geddon at this point. Geddon is kind of what makes this deck work. It's the payoff. I don't think... there is artifact mana in this format, which makes it a little worse, but... I still think if you can get their colored sources down, it generally slows them down enough if you've established an early board presence. I also want that silly Leona Relic Warder to come around, though. I think that was the other card that I'd like out of that pack the most. Umazawa's Jitte? I mean, sadly enough, like there's some cards I like in this. Like I do like Porcelain Legionnaire. It's a 2-drop, but Umezawa's Jitei's just got to be the pick. The card just punches up so hard. All right, Adanto Vanguard or Path to Exile. That's an interesting pick. Like I don't like Adanto Vanguard. I mean, it does carry a Jit though. I have how much removal? I have Unexpectedly Absent plus the Swords to Plowshares. I think I'm going to take the Adanto here, just to up my creature count. All right, well, sort of Fire and Ice or Lodestone Golem. I think Sophie is going to be the pickup here. All right, the Selfless Spirit is actually a great pickup. I'm a big fan of this card. Against the more controlling builds, which I don't think you're going to see as many of in this format, it's great. But the big thing is it flies. So like against other creature decks, you can generally tend to get over the top of them. And right now, I'm not that high on flyers. I only have the Sky Marcher Aspirant, which only works because I have like a bazillion permanents in play. The Spirit at this point, and then the Linvala. I guess I have Elspeth, which makes flyers. All right, Kasali Pride Mage, I think is what I'm going to pick up. I don't think Nykthos is good enough for this deck. I don't think it's going to do enough for this deck. We'll pick up the Voice of Resurgence as well. So actually, if we wanted to go white-green, we possibly could. If I got like a Gaddock Teague, I'd probably look. It's tough in aggro decks, right? Like the Savannah I already know is gone. There could still be a Temple Garden in the packs, and we could possibly find a fetch land for it. And then it makes it more enticing because Kasali Pride Mages have a very relevant ability. Voice of Resurgence is just a bomb against certain decks. Like against the Counterspell deck, it just wrecks house. And then here's like the other side to it, like the white-black cards. Like Vindicate's not bad if you have the fixing for it. I'm going to pick up the Revel Arc here. I don't think it's great, but I think it's a very powerful card, but I don't think I want to go above 4 in this deck that I'm trying to construct. The one thing I will say is I think WotC has cut this deck down significantly. Like there used to be like a lot of hate cards. Like you used to have like Thalia, and maybe I just haven't seen her. Someone else picked her up. The 3-mana Thalia, the 2-mana Thalia are cards we would love for this deck. Obviously, if you can pick up Caracas with that, it's also quite good. And we even already have 1 4-drop Legend, which I don't really want to play, but I'm going to leave her in for now. All right, Relic Warder came back around over Ballista, which I'm fine with. I think Relic Warder was bound to come around. It's a double white card, which only my deck wants. But it is artifact hate, which means I'm not gonna like force myself to play the Kasali Pride Mage. Although having 2 pieces of artifact removal is nice in this format, but Relic Warder does it. Given for a very short time frame. What else is in that pack? I think there was a Banisher Priest in that pack, which is an okay card. I'm generally not a huge fan of those effects, and because I have 2 removal cards already, even though I passed up on a better card like Path to Exile for Adanto Vanguard, which, you know, if you're watching this, you can tell me I'm wrong. I may be, but I think this deck wants a high threat. I mean, like, I'm only 11 creatures right now. Its threat density needs to be higher than its removal density, and if you can, you know, do that, then I think having, you know, just a few key pieces of removal can allow you to close out games before bigger opposing creatures can become relevant. And sometimes they don't, and then you just lose. But let's have the Chrome Mox. I don't know. Okay, well, actually, no, Banisher was in this one. I'd rather Banisher or the Porcelain Legionnaire. I think the Legionnaire in this cube is going to be more relevant. And it's technically a 2-drop. Path to Exile came around? So did History? How many nights do I have? I only have 3 seconds. Alright, I'm picking up the removal spell. I think History is a good card, but Path to Exile I know is... I mean, as much as I hate to say it, like, because this card I have like a love-hate with. Mana Tithe... Oh, Recruiter? Recruiter's probably the pickup here, and not the Imperial Recruiter, the Recruiter of the Guard. Mox Jet is moderately interesting, but let's think about this. So we pick up a Jet. It helps us cast a few things quite a bit earlier. Maybe it is a Jet pickup, because the Recruiter has a higher likelihood of wheeling, and if it doesn't, we'll get the Tithe back. Yeah, we'll pick up the Jet. I think we're going to be like a 15 or 16 lander. If we get Tax, probably 16, because that makes Geddon a little bit better. I would rather have anything other than a Adanto Vanguard. It's funny that I wheeled the Path anyways, and I was kind of troubled over that. Alright, so Parallax Wave is what we want to come back. I'm going to pick up Figure of Destiny. This is not a Monastery Mentor deck. 1-drops are very important to this deck. It just needs to get down early board presence. Okay, so I think the only pick we can take here, Response, maybe we can take Duplicant, but Duplicant, yeah, we're never casting that. Getting the Trials is a fine card. He's actually good against Storm as well. And he hits pretty hard. Can also prevent all damage target permanent with deal. That means you can still attack into big things. It's actually not bad. I am debating. I'm on the fence about the sword. I'm also on the fence about Limvala, but I only have 13 critters right now, although I do have 3 planeswalkers that either operate as creatures or make creatures. But they're 3 mana and up. Really, I would like to get more 2-drops for this deck. Like a Thalia, I think would be nice, but even then, like we still have a decent amount of non-creature spells. I do want that Parallax Wave to wheel, because I think the Parallax Wave is a great... I don't know if I'd run it main, but it's a great sideboard option against the green decks. Like, it tends to just win games, because like you get like the first 2 turns, you beat down, they finally establish a board presence that you can attack through. Turn 4, you cast out your... turn 3, you don't attack, you cast down another threat. They probably attack, you do some damage, but leave blockers back so they don't die, and then, you play that thing out and just win. Tangle Wire's interesting. I've never been impressed by it. The Cube. Thalia is a card we've been talking about for a while, and we're going to pick up and put in our deck. I think Blade Splicer is more correct than Spear of Heliod. Like I was saying, I think having the creatures is more relevant than having the Anthem effects, especially if we're going to be running cards like Thalia in our deck. It just makes that a 4-drop as opposed to a 3-drop if we have it in play already. And, well, they can be very good in certain situations. I'd rather them be on bodies. Like, I think Banalish Marshal is a better card. I think if you took out Honor of the Pure and put in Council's Lieutenant, which is a 2/1 creature, first strike, that once it hits someone, it has... I'm trying to remember the name of the evergreen word. It's not Exalted. It's like something along those lines. But once it hits them, it gets +1/+1. And whenever it attacks, all the creatures attacking with it get +1/+1 as well, which I think is a better card. Legion's Landing's terrible. Rashad Port's a great card. I don't know if it's as good in Powered Cube. The Arid Mace is also quite interesting. So I'm going to pick up the Rashad Port. Gideon Jura. Hangerback is a card for value. Alright, so we're 26 cards. The Sophie is still a good card. I mean, I think we'll relook it. Maybe we want to play Sophie, but I don't have the... I think where it really becomes bonkers is when you have the Stoneforge Mystic. I wouldn't mind one more disenchant effect. Like a literal disenchant for the sideboard would be nice. Because I think now we can deal pretty well with creatures. I guess we have Unexpectedly Absent plus the Leona Relic Warder to deal with problem artifacts. Skull Clamp or Sorceress Spyglass? I mean, Elish Nor in this deck is not doing that. Never want to see a Toxic Deluge. Probably a Clamp. Clamp's not horrible. Although a lot of my creatures just die right off to it. This is a 2/2, 2/2. I'll pick up a Clamp. Yeah, Clamp's more correct here. I mean, it's card advantage. At the cost of some tempo, but alright, Recruiter came back around. That's nice to see. Toughness 2 or less. So it cannot get this fellow. Can obviously get this, which is technically a 2-drop. We're 27 cards, but we have 3 lands essentially. I don't know if I want to play Chrome Mox in this deck. It costs a lot, right? I guess it does allow me to cut on 1 land and play 1 more spell. But you're down a card. If I did that, I could run Skull Clamp as well and try to get back up on cards that way. The Sophie also lets me get back up on cards if I wanted to play that. I'd rather not play the Linvala, but let's look through this. Like, I have one flyer if I don't do that. Alright, Parallax Wave came around. That is a phenomenal sideboard option. It may even be just better than Linvala. Don't have a lot of life gain in this deck. Actually, none, I don't think. But, eh. So I'm definitely going to start with Schadenport. So this is essentially 24 cards. Yeah, actually, this may be right. But then I kind of do want to play the Clamp. I'm at 16 critters. Can I go to 15 land with this deck? I guess it's not quite 15 lands. Well, I guess it kind of is, because I have the Jet as well. Alright. Gaia's Cradle? No respect. Vidillion Click? No respect. Wildfire? No imagination. Bring to Light. So, like, Bring to Light, like, I don't know what you... I guess it's a Storm card. Like, I'm used to seeing it played in Scape Shift. I'm going to pick up the most powerful card, which is easily Gaia's Cradle in the right deck. It's not the most powerful in my deck whatsoever. It does nothing. I mean, I guess it makes a bunch of green mana, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Unexpectedly absent a card so far into the bottom of my opponent's graveyard that it goes back around to the top. Tangle Wire could be good in some matchups. Like against Control, I could see sideboarding it in. I don't think I ever have. I do want to find a place for Clamp in this deck, I think, though. I have so many creatures. Like a Blade Splicer, Recruiter of the Guard. Yeah, like, I think we got to play that thing. We got a Linvala. She has a flyer. Yeah, maybe we board Linvala. She's just big. Spear? I actually don't mind Spear. Just 15 creatures, Clamp. Yeah, we could probably play 15 lands with this, I think. Yeah, 15 lander. Curve tops at 4. I guess you have to assume sometimes it's going to be 5 with Thalia because it's going to cost more to play stuff, but I have 15 creatures, though, out of my 40-card deck. And I guess I'm not going to count the Chrome Mox and Mox Jet because if I don't open with those, they're not really going to be that great. Lesion's Landing? Yeah, I guess it's life gain. I'm probably not playing it, though. Card is bad. This should not be in the cube. This should just go away. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I could flip this thing if I don't have all my creatures blown up, but yeah, I mean, creating 1/1 dudes with lifelink seems bad. I guess it's actually good against Control. Like against like blue-white Control, this would be a good card. Because if you ever get it to turn into a legendary land, you just make 1/1 lifelinkers every turn, and it's like, what are they going to do about it? Like, eventually they will die to it unless they can find a way to kill you faster. But I think this deck's good enough against Control as it is. I mean, we've got a Geddon, we've got a very aggressive curve. We can deal with a decent range of permanents. We have Unexpectedly Absent to do that. We have Thalia to make things cost more. We have Selfless Spirit to beat Wrath. We have a Danto that beats Wrath on his own. And we have 3 Planeswalkers, which is a good top end. Cool, man. Oh, where did that go? Alright, so is our last pick a white card? No, we didn't. We already picked our last card. Yeah. So, add basic lands. 12. So this is essentially a 15-land deck if you count Mox Jet as a land. Do I really want Jet in this deck? I know it seems blasphemous to consider cutting a Mox Jet, but it really doesn't help me. I mean, it doesn't help me at all until 2, unless I want to play a Skull Clamp plus a turn 1 threat. And it only helps me at 2 to cast a Danto, Vanguard, or Thalia, or Jit. Where it really starts helping me is at 3 because it allows Silverblade to get cast. It allows basically everything except for the Benelish Marshal to get cast. And then at 4, I still think it's probably right to keep it. I think this is probably right. Maybe I want to cut one more and put one more land and go to 14 land, like 14 literal lands. Because I'm never going to draw out of a Geddon once I blow a Geddon up. But let's think here. So 40-card deck, 13, draw 7, or opening 7. The probabilities are pretty high of having 2 lands in an opening 7. A land or a Mox or 2 lands. My deck doesn't really require that much to go right to play its cards. Although we are running a Rishadan which is a little more mana hungry, so maybe I want to cut one more card. It's a 2-drop. Please, Moto. If I were to cut a card, what would it be? Sadly enough, probably the Gideon. I guess the Gideon is versatile. Probably not the 1-drops. I can also path my own stuff. That doesn't seem good, but... I also have Knight to get lands. Yeah, I forgot about him. Blade Splicer is a little slower, but it's easy to cast. It does get bigger with Benalish Marshal. Huh. I do think I want Jit in this deck. I cut Clamp. Maybe I cut Clamp. Clamp is actually, honestly, I think for a deck like this, I think I'm going to go, I'm going to go to this. This is essentially a 16-land deck. Now, I think, I just always get leery. Oh, wait. Is it? So 14 lands plus 2. So I'm a card short. Never mind, I'm being silly. So, let's put the Clamp back in. I'll play the Clamp if that's the case. Yeah. Let's do this. We'll do a 16-lander, essentially, with the Mox and the Chrome Mox. Plus we have the Knight. And I suppose if we have to, we can plow our own dude, but it's not obviously a proved solution. But I think this deck wants to be just on the cusp, like just on the cusp of running into mana screw issues all the time, and just on so it doesn't flood. At least this build of it, because I still don't think the taxing effects are that great. All right, and as expected, it's generally going to be that we can draw 2 lands pretty early. I think we're actually going to put Path to Exile underneath the Chrome Mox and just cast down a Selfless Spirit turn 1. Hope to hit a land, play Blade Splicer. If we don't, we'll just play Sky Marcher and keep up Swords of Plowshares. Yeah, it's a keep. And we're even on the draw, so we can make up the inherent card disadvantage of Chrome Mox. Hopefully our opponent doesn't go turn 1 Black Lotus, like, just get you. Okay, well, does that change things? Probably a little bit. I'm just going to play out the Sky Marcher plus the Kithian. I think that's better. And hope they don't have, like, Arc Trail. I don't know if that's in the cube or not. Like, that would be god-awful. Just be like, alright, I'm good. Maybe I don't. No. I play them out, because the chances of them being able to, like, kill them all is not that high on turn 2 for them. Alright, Path to Exile, because it is inherent card disadvantage. I mean, obviously it is, but it's still very good because it just answers any creature that's not shrouded or hexproofed. Alright, so they are Mardu. Arc Trail. Don't do it to me, man. Don't do an Arc Trail here. Alright, they're just going to Chain Lightning that thing. That's fine. Nope. Oh, that'll be good at some point. Just going to Selfless Spirit. And are they going to plow my Sky Marcher at this point? They'd probably save plow for the Selfless Spirit. They're considering. Are they going to Mana Tithe it? They could do that. And now we just kind of want to hit runner, like runner land. So I think we can go Blade Splicer, and/or I'd rather go Blade Splicer. I'd rather than like do almost nothing next turn and then be able to. All right, they're going to play something here. They have a creature, a Goblin Guide. Okay. I'll let that hit me because I want to draw lands. All right, disenchant on my Mox. Okay. I mean, that's fine, I think. I'm going to save the plow. I'm not going to just plow the Goblin Guy to get 2 damage in with this Sky Marcher. They have a lot more cards than I do right now, so I'd rather them attack me with Goblin Guide and hopefully get me some cards, give me some land cards. Alright. I will, however, blow this thing up. Come on in with both. Nice. Alright, this is kind of working up how we drew it out, I think. Yeah, I will blow up their land, because it just sets them back a turn, plus I have Rishport. Yeah, that feels pretty good. And then I will play this thing out and hope they don't have... I mean, they're back a land drop that they should not be, so ideally their hand works out in a way that they just play some dumb aggro creature and they can't do anything. Alright, well, that's nice too, but I think it's better here just to say, good game. Yeah, alright. That's kind of... If they don't have an answer to my creatures at instant speed, that's what that is. That's good game. Okay, so they're playing a Goblin Guide deck. Getting's probably a bit worse. I'm thinking about Parallax Wave, but I didn't see enough creatures, so I think I'm just going to resub on this. Sort of Fire and Ice is also interesting, so they're playing Mardu, essentially. Which I think is a lot worse than being mono red or mono white. But I guess you have to do what you have to do. Yeah, we'll just submit this. Goblin Guide does not frighten me on this deck. I think this deck should generally beat a Goblin Guide because it has a bunch of its own 1-drops. And a deck that's playing Goblin Guide probably does not have Wrath of God either, which is a good thing to think. Linvala, Keeper of whatever this is, Keeper of Secrets or whatever this thing's, Silence. Yeah, Silence. I always forget that card's name, full name. Maybe decent against him, not because of its ability, but because of its rear end, its 4 toughness. A deck playing Goblin Guide, I would tend to think runs like more burn-based removal, and they did show us Chain Lightning. But I think if they want to go 1-for-1 with their removal, like we'll eventually be able to outcard them with cards like Skull Clamp. They did have Disenchant Main too. Disenchant Main's pretty aggressive. I guess it must mean they didn't have a lot of good answers to artifacts and enchantments, and they just wanted to have that one, which is not unreasonable. It's obviously not the optimal one you want to use. Alright, this is a good hand. So I have turn 1, Sky Marcher Aspirant, turn 2, Rishadan Porchu, turn 3, Recruiter of the Guard, and or Unexpectedly Absent. Just keep. Alright, go ahead. We have Goblin Guide turn 1. I'll probably snap off a block with the Sky Marcher if they have that. Alright, we'll see. I mean, I'm going to at least have a look at 2 lands. They're taking damage here. That's good for me. Okay, a Sky Marcher Aspirant of their own. Alright. Oh, I'm going to save that. I'm not just going to pop that off. Because I have the Recruiter of the Guard, I feel like that's going to be beneficial. Could also just put that thing back on top of their deck. I can't feel good. Alright, Chain Lightning, no. Force you to draw it again. This looks like card disadvantage. It's really not. So they're down a threat on board unless they're going to like do something about it. Like they could Swords to Plowshares this because they don't want to draw it again. But if they're Swords to Plowsharing, they're doing it on their upkeep. Oh, they're Mana Tithing. Okay. Good to know you have that in your deck. I don't have a lot of respect for that card, but okay. And they're down a mana on their turn. So I'm cool with that. Blue? What the hell is their deck doing? Their deck is all over the place. Okay, I'm not going to expose myself to Wasteland here. They have a counterspell, like a Remand. Jesus. Alright. Well, hopefully they just... Alright, Lingering Soul is fine. This deck looks bad they're playing, though. Oh, black mana? Oh, come on. This is working out for my opponent. They're like 5-color aggro. Alright, they're going to cast something. Oh, whatever, that's fine. That is A-okay. Okay, I'll block this. You can pay for it next turn if you'd like. Let's see if they want to pay for this. Nope. Well, sadly enough, you're not also going to get your Lingering Souls back. They have Lightning Helix or something. Alright. Well, draw is working out. If they only send 1 Spirit, I may just Swords to Plowshares the Spirit. Alright, they're both going there. No? One at this. One at me. All right, greedy, greedy. Value. Take one. Time walk. God damn, my opponent's draw has been stellar for their greedy ass mana. Like Dark Mardu, Splash Blue. All right, Elsbeth is now dead, but I guess that wasn't the strongest time walk in the world, so I can't complain too bad. But that was a hell of a series of draws. Tap there a white-red. What do you have now? Jesus Christ! Opponent's draw has been sick. They have not missed yet. That's cube, though. I guess sometimes you get had. Alright, so you pump. Going to hang back here. So, yeah, we're taking 3 in the air, but we need to be able to block this silly Needle Spires. And hopefully they finally miss. Alright, Limvala probably does come in. Alright, they're just attacking with this nonsense. Alright, cool, you're dead. I did not bring in the Parallax Wave, which is unfortunate for us. Are we dead next turn? No. What can we draw? They have another removal spell? Oh, okay, they have this. Yeah, their draw has worked out very, very well. So we're just dead. That was a sick draw, though. Mana perfect, drawing pretty much optimal cards each turn. So, that all said, and we are complaining a bit, but hey, you know, that's just Magic sometimes. I do think I want Parallax Wave in. Over what, though? Like, Geddon does not seem that great against them. Limvala is also kind of interesting. So they have Mana Tithe and Force Spike. Let's try the Hangerback Walker. Sort of fire. Actually, Umezawa's Jitace's game, right? Let's go this. I don't think I need Geddon in this matchup. I think my creatures are generally going to be better. This is a keep. It's not great, but it's a keep. Alright, turn 1 play. They have Metal Misstep. Okay, fetch a fetch. Didn't really want to see that, but it actually makes this decision easier. They can still bolt this thing. I mean, if they have bolt, cool. Bolt. If it was plow, path would be the best. They're going to remove it. I can't play anything else this turn, so I mean it's a forced play, I think, or it's relatively forced. I could attack with a 1/1 and put out a Rishadan Port against a fetch land, but that's a very bad play. All right, we get our damage in. Cool. Okay, draw a tapped land, I assume, a tapped damage land, a shock land. Do they have like Sacred Foundry? Nope. Hollowed a Fountain. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Just Lightning Helix, the dude. I'm not going to tap them down next turn. I'm just going to play this thing and say, hey. If they attack into it, they have Daze. Daze would be fine with me, I think. Here, I think we just get Mother of Runes. Or Splicer. Splicer's also quite good. We're going to be equal on mana. Figure of Destiny's also not bad. Selfless Spirit's interesting. I think I like Mother of Runes. That way it kind of forces their hand with removal, and it keeps my stuff on board, generally speaking, alive. You can block this and make this thing indestructible. You can take 4 for 3, essentially, so they're going to take the 3. How does this go wrong? If they have, like, Jit, that could be rough. We could stop and equip with it, with Rashad Port, though. Once they have, like, Ancient Tomb, Jit, that would be bad. Alright, well, they have the Kolaghan's Command available to them. Yeah, pay 4 life if you want to. Alright. Char, alright. Well, that being the case, I'm just going to play on Elspeth and make a creature. Do want to start drawing some more gas here. Alright, the Riders of the Avalanche. Cool. Oh, do you want to trade for a... Okay, they didn't go for it that time. This, go. Okay, do you have Wrath of God? Okay, I was going to say, like, that mana should not work like that. 4 spike and mana tithe in one game. That's actually an achievement for me, so, you know, despite me being a salt bag about losing the second game with, like, the ultimate and greed mana, and, like, not even high payoff spells for the greed mana, you know, it was like, I was not expecting that coming. Alright, man, have fun. This hand's a keep, so it doesn't really do anything turn 1. I think... Is there more discard? I guess I don't have to think of this now, but I mean, I'm wondering if there's more discard or more disenchants in this format, because it would be kind of nice to get a turn 2 Recruiter of the Guard or a turn 2 Gideon the Trials. Either one would be quite good. I'm going to keep this. Alright, green. Well, in this case, green with Sensei's Divining Top. Okay. Well, that's actually not bad, because Mother is very good against green decks. Green decks, I don't think... I would rather have the Mox in hand, I think. They could be Rock and just have discard this turn, but that's the breaks. Alright, green-blue, like opposition or something. If I get to untap with Mother, I feel pretty good. What about they played land before topping? I think you'd play land after topping. But, yeah. Could also force them to redraw the top and play it again just for tempo, but that seems bad. I think I'd just get down to Gideon of the Trials. Also wish I had Mirror Crusader, because against green it's quite a beating. But next turn I think is pretty obvious. What does it get beat by? Daze or Force Spike or Force of Will? I suppose Pact of Negation, Stifle, but I don't think Stifle's in the cube. Pact maybe. Alright. Alright, a Mox. Gideon. I'll just make an emblem here, just in case they are some sort of storm deck and they can go off miraculously next turn. Heartbeat of Spring, something. I don't know. They're probably not. They're probably just like an opposition-based deck. Not worried about a Bolt, so plussing him to a larger size is not really necessary. Okay, Tinker, well, Leon and Relic Warder is going to be good against whatever they get, I think. Unless it's like Memory Jar. Or it has Shroud. So, like, the, what is it called? The Inkwell Leviathan would be very bad for us here. Alright, this? Okay, they must have it in their hand. Well, I'm certainly going to double spell next turn. And feel good about it. So, Leon and Relic Warder. Lose your mana. Tinker without a high payoff is interesting to me. I don't know about that. Alright, this fellow, because he'll flip next turn, and I'll have multiple Gideons, which, with the new Planeswalker rule, is pretty sweet. I guess, yeah, if they don't have a one that has Shroud, I guess Gideon just beats it. Alright, get in there for 4. Well, mono beats. Alright, they have more land. They have a Venser, maybe. Do we play our land down here? I don't think it serves a purpose to play our land pre-combat. Could have Cryptic Command. That'd be a card that, at a minimum, stops our attack, but they did not use it, so I guess they don't. I'm going to wait to activate that, I think. They're already dead next turn, right? Huh. I'm going to limit minimum. If they have like a fast bounce spell, I'm just going to play this thing out. Yep. I'm probably just giving them more information here, but I'm going to make this thing indestructible because I don't really want to give them back their artifact. I'm going to play out the land, and I'm going to play out the Thalia because this is technically correct, but it gives them more information. I don't think they can really beat this, especially with the 2 Gideons. Yeah, I was going to say that's game. All right, cool. So white aggro against blue-green something. I don't know yet, though. Linvala may be good against that style of decks. It flies. Geddon seems strong. I'm just going to keep. Deck's great. You know, we may see more counterspells in the second game, and want to try to go somewhat green, but I'm going to keep this. It's got a 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. Power the curve. Given the 3-drop's not a powerful 3-drop, it's go find another 3-drop, basically. But still good. Alright, Steam Vents. Alright, so we have a lot of opponents with mana. More ambitious mana. Alright, Geddon's quite good. Like I was saying, I think it's strong against this opponent. What am I hoping they do? Like, go Mana Crypt, no, go Soul Ring, Tinker into, like, something. Alright, tinker this thing away. I want a Leon and Relic Ward or something so bad right now. Alright, Mox. It's not going to be any of this, I don't think. Alright. Well, I'm certainly not tinkering any of this thing. I can't stop their mana from that perspective. So I think here we just play out a Selfless Spirit, attack for 1. Yes, I could pump, and leave up Swords of Plowshares. But I think it's better just to do this, and if they tink next turn, hopefully they tinker, and, you know, ideally they're out of counter magic. Well, actually, I'm at 3, so like I could probably plow. I'd probably go for a lead, Leon and Relic Warder, and then plow whatever they play. Alright, so this is big mana, dead end draw. That's cool with me. Alright, well, what we do is attack first, I think. I'm not going to pump my dude. I don't want to go all in the face of someone doing nothing, because they possibly have, like, Bounce, or, like, a Venser, or something like that. Alright, well, we are going to do this. If it gets countered, okay. Oh, well. And probably get... I think a 1-drop, because I do think I want to blow up the board next turn. Could be more correct to get Thalia. Could just get Sky Marcher Aspirant. Let's get Kythian. Because if they blow up the board, like, I'm still going to get it, and then I want to draw a land and play like a 2-1 so I can finish the game off in 8 turns, I guess, opposed to more. Alright, they're fetching. Are they going to Factor Fiction here? That could be what they're up to. Which doesn't scare me, I think, too much here. Alright, they're just fetching. Maybe they're just fetching so they don't draw land. Yeah. That's not how you want to be using fetch lands, but it is cube, so I suppose... Alright, they just have nothing. Alright, well... Yeah, the Wombo combo decks, sometimes they just don't get there. They don't draw what they need, and they have all these enabling cards that, you know, it's really an A plus B deck, and it's just all A's and no B's, or all B's and no A's. Then, you know... a deck that doesn't really care about that kind of thing, so it's just a curb tech, white weenie deck, can beat them down. You have to let me know, though. I think the Kythian or the Sky Marcher were correct. The Kythian being the better 1-drop, I went for that. In that last play with the Search, the Tutor, which I think was like the only interesting play of that game. I'm going to keep this, but I don't like it. The Mox is probably never going to get cast. But the other time, like, I don't have a ton of land in my deck, so my chances of drawing it are pretty low. Do I get Metal Misstep here? That'd be hilarious. They know what I'm up to now. Maybe their red deck wins? These consistent decks can go a long ways. Alright, Tube Dog. Alright, he's a green deck. Alright, green decks are spooky for this deck. But we are going to curve out here. I will attack him. If he wants to block, that's cool. He goes back a mana. And I suppose... Actually, I wouldn't want to get in yet. Okay, that is fine. Take 6. I suppose we do have a Skull Clamp, which is not bad. Oh, Coercive Portal? I think you're just dead, my friend. Not quite. We'll clamp up the Silver Blade here. And Slay. No, you're dead. Yeah, exactly 0. It's Xaxes. Alright, well, aggro. Go aggro. Alright, so what are they playing? A deck that Geddon still appears to be good in. Alright, the Arbor Elf kind of confused me. I thought we were playing as like mono green, and I was like kind of spooked. I'm like, this could be rough. Jit still seems okay. I don't know enough yet. I mean, maybe Parallax Wave is right. Linvala. I do. So the fun of this format is from two fronts. It's deck construction and the draft, and then play. This deck, yes, you're right, is a lot less fun to play. I'm just gonna submit this. I don't know. I don't know enough. I didn't see enough. Yeah, fair enough. Oh. Alright, so Thalia did some significant work there. Thalia sucked down 2 mana of our opponents, and probably forced them not to play cool stuff, which probably would have beaten us. So, hope to draw it up like that again. That hand actually wasn't that good. I mean, it was on the cusp, and like I had to draw out of it. Being a 14 lander, like, I mean, I have 4 in the opener there. I don't know. It's probably wrong, but I'm gonna go for it. Like, in the dark especially, like if they're a slow controlling deck, the hand's probably good enough with Thalia. If they're like a green ramp deck like I thought, I'm probably effed. Like, I'm probably should be like, alright, cool, I'm dead. Unless I draw like Jit or like a Timely Unexpectedly Absent. Even Geddon there would have been great because they had the Dork in play and they had a piece of artifact mana. But yeah, that's a power of Thalia. Making a Signet cost 3, making a Coercive Portal cost a bazillion as well. I like the fact that my opponent's playing Coercive Portal because I do have main deck answers to it, and it does absolutely 0 the turn it comes into play. This hand's a keeper. It's not the best, but it is certainly a keeper with Geddon and Mother of Runes. I'm going to keep this. We do need to draw more mana sources with this, but we can also path our own dude if we wanted to. We also have Rishadenport, which is a good mana denial, a source of mana denial. The next turn, I may opt to, depending on what they do here, I may opt to plow or Path to Exile their elf, depending on how I draw as well. Because I can Rishport a land and then have another land tapped, and then set up Geddon a lot better, I think. My opponent seems like a cool dude. I like some banter while we play, even if it is digital. Alright, planes. A signet. Ancestral Vision? Okay. Stop the white mana, I suppose. And what do we got? Okay, a land. Well, if I draw a land, I'm going to go with my plan of Path to Exiling this elf and slowing them down a bit. They're at 4. Guruk could be in the wings. Muldrifter, oh, that's fine. Like, I don't really care if they draw cards. I want to lock them out with Geddon here, I think. The only issue is going to be I need to draw... Like, Mox would be like one of the best draws. I still don't think I go for Geddon this turn if I drew Mox. I guess I should drop auto yields in case they accidentally attack. But the chances of that are pretty low. They did not hit a land there. Alright. Give them a land card. This means they have less chance of drawing a land card on this turn, which I'd rather them not do. And yeah, we're going to go this route. I could just cast Gideon too. Like, what is my opponent really doing here? How many turns are left on this? 2? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Like, I'm gonna go for payoff. Like, this is probably wrong. If they have a big green dude, I get punished a bit, but for using the path there. But then I can start skull clamping. Well, what do you got? If they have planeswalkers, it's harder to cast them into this because Gideon obviously attacks for a lot of damage. I just don't think the payoff was big enough with just Mother of Runes. Like, I would need to top lands for a while there. But now I think it is sizably better. Just play some dumb creature that Gideon can attack through. Or just play a couple creatures. I would be fine with that. Or do nothing. I'd be really good with that. Alright, Mirari's... this is actually not bad for us at all, because I'm going to blow the lands up next turn. But they have 4 more mana. So they get Jace. Alright, Shardless Agent's fine. That doesn't really do all that much. Mana Crypt, that's a little less fine, but it does damage to them. And we know the Ancestral's coming off next turn. They're questioning if they want to even play this thing. Secretly they do, but it is kind of a beating. They can cast like Cultivate. Alright. And Geddon. Go back to the Stone Age, my friend. And have an active Mana Crypt. Alright, they are going to draw a bazillion cards this turn, but we have Crypt on our side, and we have Mom, which can pass through damage like no other. Unless they target me with that Ancestral, that'd be very, very kindly of them. Okay, well, they're up to, what, 5 mana now? Would not mind a land next turn, or a Mox. Mox would be fine, too. Alright. What are we casting for 5 mana? A Virtuous, a Gearhulk. No, a Garruk. Okay. Create a 3/3 beast. Cool with me. A 4/4 beast, I'm sorry. Alright, Sky Marcher will be better once. So this is going to become a 5/5. And attack Garruk, Primal Hunter. And they can throw something in front of it if they'd like. Okay. I think, yeah, they're going to do this, which is fine. But I think this is still okay for us because they do have the Crypt in play. Lose some Crypt flips, my man. Won the last one. 1-2. 2 in a row. Good for them. They need to do something else here. They could draw cards with Garruk to find more landage if they don't have lands. Alright, yep. That's what they're going to do here. Alright, they found a Plains. So they have a bazillion, approximately a bazillion cards in hand, which is good for them. Another option we could exercise, if we hit another land, so obviously blocking with the Knight Ally this turn and protecting with Mother of Runes, I could protect the Gideon. If I can get a Plains, play up Sky Marcher out, have a block, get them down to 10, and then they take, that's a virtual 15. And if they start losing any flips, then we could win that way. Go on like the chump double protected Gideon attack plan if they have only green and or blue creatures. That feels okay. Well, they're definitely deep in the tank on this one. Alright, they're a green dude. Okay, Master of the Wild Hunt is problematic. Won't admit that it's not. They can't make another wolf or another beast this turn, another best. Oh, what are they casting here? Hopefully nothing that deals with my Gideon. If they do, then I probably lose the game. But we knew this is a risk taking this line. I don't think I was winning if I didn't take this line. They have like a Planeswalker. Yeah, I don't think they have enough mana to do what they want to do. I think they're trying to cast another like 4 mana Planeswalker here. Alright, Sylvan Advocate, cool. At a minimum, it does not attack. Alright, go ahead. They don't attack, cool. Alright, Jit is mildly interesting. Alright, so if I plus this thing and protect it, they kill my mother on the next turn. That doesn't seem great. So I guess what I need to do is just create an ally and keep on hoping for lands. Mirari's Wake, hell of a card. And they need to start losing some Crypt flips. If they had lost 2, I think this line would be viable. Alright, so they make a Wolf, which is going to be a 3/3 now. They're still on a mono green board, though. They're going to make another beast token. They've won all 3 Crypt flips. That is pretty savage. Alright, this is going to be an Elsbeth, I feel like the big Elsbeth, which makes white tokens. No, this thing. Flying a lifelink. Alright, can I win from here? What are my outs? I don't really have outs. I guess I'm going to see to show them a little less. I don't have... I guess the Sky Marcher wouldn't come into play untapped. I've already burned the Plow. I can only draw 1 card, which needs to be a land, and I would need land plus Swords to Plowshares to win that. Tangle Wire is certainly interesting in this matchup. Maybe I want to play that. I don't know. It's probably not good enough. Limvala, no. Parallax Wave, I think yes, but over what? Clamp... Just doesn't do it for me, I don't think, in this matchup. Yeah. Let's go this way. I'm going to take out the clamp. Clamp just feels kind of slowish. Alright, this hand's a mulligan, unfortunately. This hand's a keeper. And it even has a good answer to an early artifact. I'm going to keep this. I think I top her, because I don't have anything to do before 3. So Sky Marcher, go. Unfortunately, my 2-drop does not answer anything unless they have like artifact lands or like... Well, actually, Mana Crypt. It answers Mana Crypt. Pretty exactly. Nothing. Yeah, I'm not going to spew out the Leon and Relic Order for no value. I think that's bad. Signet? Signet would be awesome because I will get that. And actually, you get to leave up STP. So, Relic Order. I think this makes the most sense because it just slows them down a lot. Yeah, the Blade Splicer's a faster clock, but... And now if they play like an Elves or something like that, we can possibly just plow it. Alright, well, perfect mana. Okie doke. I'm doing that now because I want to get my Splicer down. Another option here is just doing this. Now, I could do that and be more mana efficient and get like a Mother of Runes. But I want my clock to be up because they're kind of on the back foot right now. And I can do that next turn. Because they're going to have to put something on the board or wrath the board. Alright, do you have a walker of some sort? Like a Garruk? Okay, Master. That was pretty much the perfect draw in the deck. They probably just concede now. Alright, makes a little wolf. Alright, Garruk mana. Alright, there's this thing. Alright, tree. Just nonsense all around. If they go to do this now, or I was going to say, I can just minus the wolf. And it'll trade with my worst creature threats. No, I suppose that was silly of me. I could have just equipped the Jit on the Sky Marcher. I guess it wouldn't have killed this turn. Should have thought of that. Okay. First strike's going to put the counter... Actually, I wanted to still have this. So first strike will put the counters on first. Okay. They'll get their Signet back. If they try to fight here, I'll just kill their things, but... And that would be a fine. And they can try to fight something here, but I'll just remove the remainder of the counters and kill their wolf. So please, by all means, go ahead. What if they had like a remand in hand for my mother? They could. Or an essence scatter. I don't know if that's in the cube. Remove soul. I mean, they're still kind of obliged to do it, but... Okay. And they get their signet back. And we have a Mother of Runes. Alright. Well, F6 go. There are certainly cards that could win him the game here. Mirari's Wake, I don't think it would give them 4 mana afterwards if they had a land drop in hand. This feels like a Shardless Agent to try to find something. But Mother of Runes should do a good job of forcing through damage. They need like a flyer plus something that can that is not green, so that I can just force through like one with the Blade Splicer or the Golem or whatever. They just need an awful lot of blockers too. They could also just Wheel of Fortune. Alright, I just concede. Yeah, they can't do it. Alright, well, that was our first Vintage Cube of this session of the Vintage Cube, and went with White Weenie. As uninspired a deck as it is, it did pretty well there. It's a great beatdown deck. It's very consistent. Has some decent taxing effects that were relevant in a couple of our games, Thalia, namely, and then also the Leonin Relic Warder, I think, did some decent work. I think the Gideon and the Leonin Relic Warder both stopped the Tinker deck from going off in the first game, and the Warder either bought us time against the Signets, and or, was able to stop some shenanigans with Coercive Portal. But either way you look at it, I think the deck did punched up pretty well. Obviously, we had some decent draws as well. Like that Jitte there was just phenomenal, but that was the first time we actually got to use the darn thing. But I still think it is a good enough equipment. I think the swords are a little slower, but Jitte and Clamp are just... They're the best, right? Like, they're the best. Probably followed very far behind by Batterskull, but Batterskull is really only good because of one card, and Stoneforge Mystic. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video content of the seasonal Vintage Cube. Yeah, enjoy and take care now, guys. And try to get in there and do it. It's actually very, very fun, and it gives you an appreciation for some of the most busted cards over Magic's history. Plus, it's just a hell of a good time. Alright, guys, enjoy and take care now.